guys, it's Misty from the Joyfied Elf. Welcome to Wednesday's card. We are still using the Jar of Love bundle, and today I have a really simple, quick card for you that also happens to be one of my new sketches. This card, didn't it turn out so pretty? I love this mix of Real Red and Early Espresso. So let's head over to my craft table and I'll show you how I made it. Hey guys, it's Misty from the Joyfied Elf. Welcome back to Wednesday and my second card in the Jar of Love series. Today just happens to be another sketch challenge. So let me bring in my sketches. So if you're unfamiliar, each month I'm going to release 2 sketches. You can play along if you follow the link to the blog post in the description box down below. If I remember, I will try to insert like a screenshot of where you need to click. After you go down past the supplies, there's a little button that says link in links. You click that, you can upload either a link to your blog if you've posted, or you can just upload your photo. It's completely up to you. At the end of the month, everybody that has participated will be entered into a drawing to win some Stampin' Up! Product. It is open to just U.S. residents only. Again, I apologize, I can't send product overseas. So this is a sketch. Each sketch provides you one with measurements and one without. A lot of people don't like measurements. They like to do what they want. Me, I want it spelled out for me directly, so I don't have to do any thinking whatsoever. So I thought today I would actually walk you through cutting all the cardstock for this paper for the sketch. So my card base is going to be this piece of Early Espresso. My card layers are going to be this Real Red. I'm going to stamp on Whisper White, so I'm going to have this for the inside and for the outside, and then this is going to be my piece of Designer Series paper. So let's start with the card base. It tells me that the card base is 4 1/4 by 11. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. This is the Fiskars trimmer with the wire guide. This is the one that I love. I also have the one from Stampin' Up, but I love this one, especially if you're new to cutting and scoring, because this one has a wire guide and it shows you exactly where you are cutting. So 4 1/4, see, not 4 1/2. Oops. So I'm just going to line that up and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to put this one to the side. And then I'm going to open this up. I'm going to move my cardstock down to 5 1/2. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to run this through just like this. Now I also have the scoring tool, which I love if I'm doing multiples or something. But if I'm just doing something really quick, I either have the small Martha Stewart or I just use my trimmer from here on out. Okay, so the next one we're going to do Real Red, and I need it to be 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. So let's start at 2 1/4. And then we'll do it at 5 1/4. So that's one piece. Our next piece needs to measure 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. So I'm going to come over to 3 1/2. And 3 1/2. And you could probably make 2 cards out of this one sheet of cardstock. So actually out of all of this. So that means my layer needs to be 5 by 2. So let me cut off 2 right here. Well, this is not straight, so let me try this end. And then we'll do 5. So these are just a 1/4 inch smaller, so it's a little bit easier. And then my Whisper White, I need 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my 4 by 5 1/4 because that's going to be my inside. So that's 4 by 5 1/4. So that's my inside, and then I'm going to do 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And the last one I'm going to do is a piece of ribbon. I don't have the real red stitch satin ribbon. I believe I just ordered it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece from earlier. I'm going to cut it 3.5 inches long. So let me cut it by probably about, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch wide. And then 3.5 inches long. So that will cover our real red layer, just like that. And we'll save this piece to punch using the Bow Builder punch. That is, anytime someone asks me what they should invest in, I always say the Bow Builder punch. Okay, so I'm going to set this. I'm actually going to kind of fold it. We really just need the sketch. The bottom is just some tips and tricks that you can use. So let's start by creasing our card base. We've already scored it, and that's so it won't crack. And then we'll just go over it with our bone folder. You can also use like a plastic butter knife if you haven't had an opportunity to invest in a bone folder yet. You'll just want to make sure that you're not using the serrated side. I'm going to put some snail on our largest piece of Whisper White. And that is going inside of our card base. And again, you should have about a 1/4 inch border all the way around. And then we're going to bring in our 2 pieces of real red. And again, we should have about a 1/4 inch border, just like that. Perfect. I thought this floral went really well with this jar of love and all the flowers in it. I'm actually going to do something a little different for you guys today. I know, you're on pins and needles. I'm kidding. Okay. If you want a link to all the supplies, they are in the description box down below. Or again, you can find them on the blog with the coordinating blog post. That's pretty daggum straight, Misty. Good job, Misty Levine. Okay, I'm gonna bring in, this is the medium jar. I'm gonna stamp my jar in Sahara Sand. I didn't want to introduce another color family like a blue or anything like that. So I figured this could look like an old, you know, antiqued mason jar, so to speak. So I'm going to stamp this kind of like toward the bottom. Just like that. Then I'm going to bring in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten the stem. So normally it's curved. Actually, I could probably curve it this way. No, I'm just going to straighten it out. And I'm going to stamp this using Early Espresso. And actually, I don't even think we're going to need all of it. So I'll just kind of do half of it. Bring in a scratch piece of paper. So my first one is going to be right in the middle. And that's okay because we can always bring in our Early Espresso marker and add to it. So just like that. And again, we can bring in our Early Espresso marker. And this is completely optional. It's up to you. you can just kind of finish that line. Just like that. I'm going to use some snail to attach this, and you can add a sentiment if you want to. I just thought this would be a good card to keep around that you could always add the sentiment later. This could be one of those cards where you stamp the sentiment on the inside, or maybe you stamp it on a banner and you add it later. Completely up to you. I'm going to add snail to the back of this. And I'm going to kind of put this more toward the top. In the sketch, you can see that it's at the bottom. It was somewhat at the bottom, but again, these sketches are just more of a blueprint. You don't have to follow them exactly. It's time to build our bow. Bow builder punch, you're going to need 2 punches. So okay. If you've never seen me do this, I'm going to do it again. What you need to do is take your bone folder. These are our loops. And you want to just run your bone folder just kind of through the loop. That gets it started. Because we don't want this to crack like it already has when we go to fold this. So you just kind of, like you would with curling ribbon, that's how you're going to do this with your bone folder. And what it does is it just kind of breaks down the fibers a little bit so they don't crack. And then you're going to want some trusty glue dots. So here are my glue dots. I'm going to put one right there. Oh, oh no, where did that go? Oh no. That's on me somewhere. I felt it hit me. Oh my word, it's probably on my face. Let's try that again, Misty. And then you're gonna want to push these ends together. So that's one loop. See how cute this is? It's so stinking cute. And if you don't want to invest in a lot of ribbon, I think this punch is 18 bucks. You could get a million different bows out of this or ribbon. It's up to you. And how cute is this going to be at Christmas? So cute. That is the answer to that question. Did I use this? I think I used this at least once during my Christmas in July with Bella and the pretty kitty, who is Roxy Susu. She's in here somewhere. We've started letting her in our bedroom. I think I mentioned that before. Because she just seems to be a very needy cat. And she's done so much better with us just having the door open at night. So Rob left after me today, and I normally shoo her out and close the door, but he left it open all day. So she's been hiding out in there, because why not, right? You hear me talking about you. Okay, I put one right there, and then I'm going to put one right here. You really want glue dots for this. It'll just make your life so much easier. So this is going to fold over and fold over again. Just like that. You can leave it like this, but I'm going to go ahead and add some tails. Whoa, my chair just rolled. It's weird. Don't be weird, chair. So here is our cute little bow. Hold on. Ooh. Just like that. And you can position the, the tails however you want them. So just like that. Cute, or you can push them up. Completely up to you. I'm going to go ahead and hear this first. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up. So I'm going to give this card some dimension. You could leave it flat and let the bow be the dimension. It's up to you. I'm all about them dimensionals. Some people are all about that base. I'm all about them dimensionals. Oh, I think we're about to have a friend. She hasn't jumped up in a video in a while. I feel her at my feet. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a dimensional. And I'm going to call that done. How pretty did that turn out? So simple. And again, this could really be any occasion. You could emboss the sentiment down here. You can add a banner. You can emboss it on the ribbon. You can add it on the inside. Completely up to you. And again, sketch number 3 will be on my blog. Thanks so much for joining me. All the supplies will be listed in the description box down below, along with a link to the blog post. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.